The client is one of the largest players in business process and technology management. They recently implemented a project workflow management system to be able to manage the end-to-end workflow of their financial projects of the organization. It is a core system which integrates with the other core system, IT core systems of the organization. The primary users of this application are mostly the VPs, the senior VPs and CEO of the organization who navigate through the system through the approval lifecycle to complete the workflows. Thus, this is a very high visibility system from the business acceptance perspective and a very mission critical application from the performance perspective, since it impacts the business of the organization directly. The primary users of this application are mostly the VPs, the senior VPs and CEO of the organization who navigate through the approval cycle and finish the workflow. This is thus a high visibility system from the business acceptance perspective and a mission critical system from the performance perspective, since it directly impacts the business of the organization. This is a Java based system using Hibernate and Springs framework. The middleware is WebLogic and the backend is implemented on Oracle 10G. The business logic comprises of multiple web services interface layer to integrate with the other core IT systems of the organization. These web services interface had to also be tested for performance. The second objective was to right size the server hardware to sustain the expected user load. Now, what is the methodology we use to do this? As a part of this, our team of experts analyzed each component in the system and prepared a strategy to stress each component in isolation before stressing the entire system as a whole. For example, stressing the web services, stressing the database, stressing the application server and so on. We identified IBM RPT as the best fit tool to perform the exercise. Test scripts were written in RPT in such a way that they were highly modular and customizable. Now let's look at the solution that we offered. We performed entire testing in 4 different phases. In phase 1, we performed load tests on the current server hardware and tuned the system at the app and DB levels for bottlenecks that were identified during the course of testing. As a part of the second phase, we moved to the performance of page level optimization so that rendering of page objects could be optimized to improve the end user experience. In the third phase, once the system was tuned, we performed capacity planning under level 3 to identify the right size of the hardware that was required to sustain the current load on the system. And finally, in the last phase, to identify the scalability of the system, we performed an exercise for future load understanding and derived a load model. Tests were conducted to identify the scalability of the system and additional hardware required to sustain the futuristic load. Now, what was the ROI that the client could realize from this? The first one was they were able to go live confidently. And secondly, and most importantly, we monitored the system for over 3 months on production and achieved a 98% success on the benchmarked results.